honestly one of the best things that Canada has to offer.
Beaver
what you do with
tails
the
are?
beaver tail is it's an
Beaver
oval,
tails.
It's an oval shaped pastry, and then you cover it in butter, and then you deep fry it, and then you put more butter on it, and then you take any sort of sticky condiment, so like cinnamon sugar, caramel, Nutella.
Dude, not Nutella.
Sauce,
Nutella's disgusting.
whatever you want, just you pick what you want, right? The normal one comes with cinnamon sugar, but if you want caramel and apples or something, you can do that. If you want Nutella, you can do that. If you want chocolate, you can do that. If you want to put like ice cream and shit on there, you can do that. And basically, what it is it's an oval about this large that gives you a heart attack whenever you want one.
Wait. So is it like the equivalent of like a bear claw?
It's like Indian fry bread at the fair.
I don't know what a bear claw is. I just know that.
Do you have that where you are? Indian fry bread?
Indian fry bread?
No.
Made out of like fries?
I looked up a bear claw on Google.com, and I would say that it looks different, but it's in a similar family.
What about funnel cake? Do you have funnel cake?
Oh, funnel cake.
Funnel
cake.
I've never heard of
funnel cake.
What?
You've never heard of funnel cake?
Do you not have carnivals?
So I just looked up. Yeah, we do have carnivals, and when we go to carnivals, we get beaver tails.
Yeah.
I just looked up a funnel cake, and it looks like a beaver tail, but in a different shape. But otherwise, it looks the exact same.
It's so good. It's so bad for you. It's just deep fried. Yeah. Like I don't even know what it is. Like it's some bread thing, and then just pure like confectionate sugar. And it literally gets all over your face.
Brad's here.
Right. So what I'm gonna do is. It won't let me copy pictures into our private chat, but I was going to post a picture of a funnel cake that I just Googled and then a picture of a beaver tail. And basically what I was going to show you is that the funnel cake is like the vertical tubular version of a beaver tail, or the beaver tail is a flat, wide version of a funnel cake. But basically what the deal is that it's cinnamon, butter, sugar, and bread. And it's delicious. High calorie.
I feel like I could be your mom.
And with that,
to Jacob's mom?
Yeah.
You're not Jacob.
This is Fantasy Intervention. Intervene with your fantasy life, Shane Manila, Jakob Sanderson, and Chase Vernon.
Oh, here we are. It's time for a mock draft. Welcome on in, everybody. We are about to get this episode started off, and we got a mock draft coming to you. I believe rookies are included in this one.
Yeah, and the settings are kickers are worth 3x, IDP, 5 quarterback, no running backs, and then you also get a legacy trait. So if you draft a retired player,
So superflex. How many teams is this?
It's 12 teams. It says 10 teams, but it's 12 teams, right?
Okay.
We got 10 picks. We got a starting roster. And before we actually get up, and started with this, of course, I want to introduce our special guest. We have Kelly in Phoenix. You guys can find her at Kelly in Phoenix on Twitter. Here with us to join our just craziness of the Wednesday night episodes. What's going on, Kelly? How are you?
I'm great. I mean, Jacob's mom has got it going on.
Dude, I guess you're Jacob's mom from here on out. So that's going to be an ongoing thing.
My mom's probably watching right now. She's going to be upset. If she knew how to comment on YouTube, she'd let you know.
But your mom watches this show?
Oh,
yeah, every single week.
Oh no.
Hi, Mom.
We always get likes. We always get retweets.
What's up, Jacob's mom? How you doing?
Yeah, Shane. How have you never come across Andrea Gardens on Twitter?
Yeah, she's famous. But
she's a constant supporter. Guaranteed retweet every show.
Nice.
Kelly's over there. Kelly's doing some fun stuff with the commish, IBT Media, and Club Fantasy as well. In fact, I think you were on Club Fantasy earlier tonight, right?
I just give them a hard time in the chat on the
Oh,
pod.
okay. That's amazing.
I just go in there and bust balls. That's it.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. So let's get this episode kicked off. Of course, we have Shane and Jacob over here giving each other a hard time prior to the show starting. That's absolutely a staple. So you guys got to go check out the beginning of this. And yeah, I guess we should go ahead and start the draft, right?
Yeah. And you guys can check in our Twitter group chat, not you guys watching, but you guys in the show. You can check out our Twitter group chat where I've posted a picture of 4 different flavored beaver tails.
Yeah, they just look like welfare donuts. Like that's whatever. I don't. There's nothing from Canada cuisine wise that I think is worth eating.
Oh wait, have you never had poutine?
Poutine.
I had, but I mean, I've been
not from Dairy Queen. Down
you probably
the
had bad poutine.
Poutine's amazing.
Okay, did you have poutine with the shitty shredded cheese or with the curds?
I've never had poutine. Then I've completely thought you were talking about something else. I'm sorry.
No.
What did you think I was talking about?
He's talking about another kind of poutine.
No, poutine is fries, gravy, and cheese curds.
Oh, that sounds disgusting. And I'm from Philadelphia,
bacon,
and we make cheesesteaks, so that's fucking gross, dude. And scrapple, we eat scrapple. You know what scrapple is?
I do.
Is it Snapple out of garbage?
It's the part of the pigs that weren't good enough to go into the hot dog.
He's telling the truth. It's gnarly, but it's really good for breakfast food. It comes in like little bits and pieces. It's kind of crazy. All right, let's go ahead and start this. Should I randomize it first, or you guys like where you're sitting in the draft? I know that
I'm good with where we are.
Kelly's on the turn, Shane's on the turn. We got enough space to be able to talk about some players. I think we're pretty much good, right?
Yeah, let's go, man.
Yeah,
let's get this done, son.
I will. Give me a second. Let me make sure this.
I picked this the 102, the 102. All right, sleeper. One thing, I love you. You're much better than MFL, but you need to put zeros in front of that. That's just confusing. The 1.2. That's not what I have. I don't have the 120.
Very true. All right, let's go ahead and start this. Kelly, you're up first on the board. We'll do 2-minute segments so we have enough time if we decided to break down a certain player or whatnot. Are you sure you want to start the draft? Yes.
Yeah, buddy.
So,
what do you want to do? Chit chat like about the first?
We'll pick someone and then tell us why.
Pick someone and then we can tell you how bad that was.
Who are you thinking about? Is there even a debate for you? Is Jonathan Taylor even a question?
What is the settings for it? This is superflex and it's PPR.
Taylor.
To superflex, obviously it's a PPR.
Jonathan
PPR,
Taylor,
okay.
But I'm not. I'm going QB with superflex, and I'm picking one for the girls. Our daddy, Josh Allen.
It would be Josh Allen, and wow, I got a little thing in my ear. I don't know what that was.
He made a noise.
Yeah, it was like a wow.
How do I pick?
I don't know if you guys heard it or not, but it was very strange whisper in my ear.
Yeah, sleeper lets you know what's up.
How exactly do I pick?
On the left hand,
you click a name, Shane, you idiot.
No, there's no names coming up, you dick face.
Okay, you go to players. And then hit draft.
Hold on. So you have to hit that. So you're going to pick Josh Allen. I'm going to go with another handsome devil. And
Trubisky.
I'm all about him lately.
Yeah. Really? Over Mahomes? You're just trying to be fancy. It's because there's no money on the line. That's why.
I mean, we talked about Mike Williams last week. A lot of people think that Mike Williams is going to, I guess, end up back over there, right? But could they actually draft the replacement? Could Josh Palmer actually take over? That's showing a lot of faith in Justin Herbert that he can deliver the rock to some lesser receivers.
Dude, he's shown it. I mean, he tore up, what was it, Jalen Guyton? What was it when he just kept throwing 90-yard touchdowns to some random, homeless people?
Everyone. There's that guy, Tyrone Johnson, who was on 4 different NFL teams last year that we all thought was good in the summer because Justin Herbert was throwing him the ball.
Yeah. So let's read the board here. We're flying. We've got Josh Allen, Horse Dick, I believe is his nickname.
No, what? That's Drew Lock.
Oh,
Drew
I'm sorry. No, you're right.
Horsecock
so he's Pony,
Pony
Dick.
Bob.
Justin
Bob.
Herbert, Patrick Mahomes. I will say the first mistake of the draft.
Can you just screen share the board, Chase?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Screen share the board.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't have that up. That was really dumb of me. Sorry about that.
I'm going to say the first mistake of the draft here was, if you could bring it up.
Yep, I got it coming.
Any day now. Yep, there you go. I'm going to say the first mistake was Joseph Burrow.
I agree.
just look, yes, he looked great in the playoffs and 2 games in the regular season. Other than that, he was about an 18-point a game quarterback. I think you just got to go the upside with Lamar and Kyler there. But that's just my personal opinion.
All right, so Bob got really spicy here. He went and took Kyle Pitts, and I'm kind of shocked. I don't know if Bob was doing that for splash effects or not, but hey, Bob, let us know.
Bob loves Pitts, man. Every time you talk to Bob about Pitts, he is so clear cut. He's like, no, I'm taking Pitts, whatever. If you would have been the 101, he might have taken Pitts.
All right, so if I go with Jonathan Taylor, I pretty much have to build like a win now type team, right? If I go with Kyler Murray, that gives me a few years to actually build a team. And I really like Jonathan Taylor. I think he is a value here, but I kind of want to get into the more of the dynasty aspect of things. So I'm going to take Kyler Murray with my next pick.
Wow.
I had to mute mine. It was really loud.
I love Sleeper, but is this a sleeper thing? Like, why is it doing this?
I just clicked the mute button right here. You see that mute button right there? It keeps it from
wow.
From
so there's
shutting, wow.
So there goes all the quarterbacks worth drafting, hey?
Yep. You're kind of shy of luck on this. I also don't know how to score.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I don't want to pick a quarterback. That's boring anyway.
Yeah, who wants to win?
All right. So this pick, I mean, look, Jonathan Taylor's right here, so I have to consider him. But in this spot, like I can start with the 5 wide receivers. I did promise the Twitter that I would stay true to my brand and not draft any running backs. So I have to lock in Justin Jefferson here with the 1.9, which is my dynasty wide receiver.
If you didn't make that promise, would you have gone with Jonathan Taylor there?
You know, I'm honestly torn.
I mean, Jonathan Taylor's sinking.
I've had this exact choice twice, which is Justin Jefferson versus Jonathan Taylor, and I have made both choices. One time I took Jefferson, and one time I took Taylor. I think if there was one less flex spot, I would absolutely take Taylor. But I just think with running back right now, like the running back's been falling so much in these startups that I'm doing. I'm just so comfortable taking a lot of these guys late that I'm just more comfortable betting on these wide receivers early, especially if I can start 5 in a row.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, Balls is Life. Ephilsilla B. I'm drinking some tequila right now. I got a Bud Light. I know that the Kelly has some delicious bourbon that she was telling me about before the show started. Mm-hmm. What's it called?
Oh, I just spilled it because I was trying to show at the bottom. It's called Boone County, and I won it in a raffle, and I can't find it anywhere here, so I'm assuming you can only get it like in Kentucky or something.
So, Kelly, do you think that John over there felt the pressure of all the quarterbacks flying off the board and went with Dak Prescott? And do you think that's a little bit too early for him to go, or do you think it's appropriate and he took it at the right time?
I definitely think there was a panic factor. Would I have picked Dak Prescott? No, I would have picked Jalen Hurts in that case because he brings on the fantasy points. I mean, the Eagles might suck, but Jalen Hurts brings in the points, and that's what matters here.
The Eagles don't suck, by the way.
Okay.
Personally, I would not be taking. Yeah, see, this is one of the issues that I have with, and I don't mean to bag on Ball's Life, but look, I put out this tweet earlier. Fantasy football is a strategy game with football inputs. So yes, if you change the settings to 0.25 point per carry, then I will draft more running backs. Like it's that simple. It's sort of like the argument, like I talk about quarterback rushing, and they're like, well, it's wrong that rushing quarterbacks, they get boosted up too much. We should have more passing touchdown points, or we should have more points for passing yards. Well, yes, if we did, then I will draft them. But it's all ultimately just about the settings. I'm up now, and that's unfortunate because I wanted to take either Trey Lance or Christian McCaffrey.
Why did you? So you wanted to draft Christian McCaffrey way too early?
No, I wanted to take him too late, but because I like to win leagues, so I actually like it when a running back averages 25 points per game.
Oh no, and he'll definitely do that every year for now till infinity, because that's how it works. That's how running backs do. Like it's just a straight.
Right. Well, the option is either I can have Christian McCaffrey average 25 points per game, or no running back averages 25 points per game. Those are the two options. So I prefer to have the option where one might.
We're only starting 2 running backs in this league. Oh, and by the way, I need everyone to know that you're you're buying into this league. The buy-in is $150. It'll be on league safe. So congratulations. Let's rock, baby.
Yeah. So at this point, I'm honestly quite stuck. So I would say, yeah, normally I would take CMC in this slot. He's gone. I guess the other running back that everybody else would take at this spot is Javonte. Personally, I'm just not quite sold on that. So I will just stay on brand, and I will take AJ Brown and just keep drafting.
Oh, damn it. Jacob, really, dude? I had 2 people that wanted to make it back to me, and AJ Brown was one of them. I'm not happy with you right now.
Blame the 2 people in front of me. I would have taken Lance or McCaffrey.
I like your start, though. I do like your start. I saw a little bit of a reach over there with Trey Lance. I thought that was kind of interesting.
That's not a reach.
Well, you love Trey Lance.
I almost took Lance at the 1-9. I think Lance should be. I think Lance should go ahead of Burrow. I think Lance should be going in the same I think Lance should be going. Well, I think he should go in the same tier as Burrow, but I think he should be clearly ahead of Dak and ahead of Hurts and ahead of the rest of them.
So that was my other player, Javonte Williams, that I wanted to fall to me, and then Jalen Hurts goes early. After Kelly's suggestion to take him over Dak Prescott.
Does he go early? I mean, he was a top 8 quarterback in every game he started last year, except for 1 game. So
my concern with Jalen Hurts is that he might not have a starting job, in a year or 2. And I'm not saying that's going to happen definitely. It's just a concern of mine that I think needs to be, weighed a little bit when trying to figure out how you're going to position your roster. So I think that Jalen Hurts is definitely a win now candidate, but I think that goes very well with Lamar Jackson. I think that they could put up some massive, massive weeks that you're probably going to have the highest scoring team on the slate if you draft, properly after this. But obviously, I think it's Jay Carlos has to build his roster around win now. So I'm up on the clock. I don't really have any kind of decision to make here. I think it's pretty clear cut who I want to go with, and that's going to be CeeDee Lamb. I think that the offense will improve. I think that eventually they're going to have to throw more because they're not going to have Ezekiel Elliott taking the ball 25 times a game. I think that this gives me a little bit of time to wiggle and also offers me some upside now. Kelly, you look like you want to scream and rip my head off. So tell me what you're thinking.
I just think that was way early, super early. He was not impressive. I know because I had so many shares of CeeDee Lamb. I'm just really surprised that was your second.
I think that targets are earned.
So you just want to, Kelly. So just, I appreciate you being polite. It's cute. But just tell Chase that he made a bad fucking pick.
It was a bad pick.
Yeah,
it was a terrible pick.
I still have CeeDee Lamb, I think, in my top 5. He's borderline top 5.
So then you're
good
bad.
For you.
I mean, that
you're
good for you. You look cute and healthy.
And the rest of the community does not, which is also, you got to
No, the rest of the community still has Lamb high. It was not an egregious pick on ADP. He goes in round 2 in every draft.
Yeah, he does.
I've done 8 startups this year. He's been round 2 every single one of them.
Should not be.
I think his ADP is wrong, but I definitely don't think Chase took him ahead of ADP. That's where he goes.
Yeah, I still think that CeeDee Lamb, could see some opportunities and could see an increased amount of targets in the near future, especially while they could lose both of their third-string wide receivers and their tight end. I mean, he's going to see.
So you're just assuming. So they're just going to. So next year, you think it's just going to be Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb and no one else on the field?
They could draft a guy. They could draft a guy for sure.
I think it's 2023 because this is Dynasty, right? So CeeDee Lamb will be garbage still next year, and then 2023 he'll get his shot. Is that it?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's.
In the chat.
I think that's the wrong way to approach it. I think that if Lamb's going to dominate, it's next year or it's never, because the most wide receivers break out in year 2 or year 3, and your target share basically stabilizes after year 3. So he's been a 20% target share, 24% targets per route guy through 2 years. I think either that's going to improve next year and he's going to break out in a big, big way and be top 5, or he's just never going to be top 5. I don't. That's just how it. With wide receivers, you're usually not getting a 4th year, 5th year breakout.
No.
Maybe if you're in the DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin zone, where you are putting up really strong peripherals, but your quarterback sucks. But that's not Lamb's spot. His quarterback can get him the ball. He's just not drawing enough targets yet.
Yeah, and from the Peter Howard targets are earned school of thought, his numbers don't even look that different with or without Michael Gallup playing, which I was hoping you'd see a little spike when Gallup goes out, but you don't see anything.
So I mean,
how much of that exact argument for Rondale Moore? So
let's not go there yet. We will end up there, Kelly. I promise you, we will end up there at some point. But we will end up there. Shane, you're on the clock. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a good pick, Xander. Good pick, Xander. Bad person, but good pick.
So I don't like any of my choices here, but luckily I get to go on the wrap. So I mean, let's play to the format. Oh, I hate all these quarterbacks already. God damn it! I don't like anyone. I'm just gonna trade.
You can't do that. Trade alert. Trade alert. No trades.
Trade. Who wants to trade up?
Yes, I love it. Deshaun Watson's an interesting take there because if he plays this year, him and Patrick Mahomes together, that's fire. And even if he doesn't play this year and he goes on to still play in the NFL afterwards, I think that's a dynamic duo there, and it's a great pick for dynasty purposes.
Speaking of dynasty, I think it's nice that Shane is trying to find friends to hang out with at the retirement home.
29 years old.
Adams.
Yeah. So as most of us know, I know Jacob hates old people.
I do. Yeah,
but elite wide receivers will
steal their cane and then I whack them in the head with it when I see them on the street.
Elite wide receivers will produce through their age 32 season. So I'll take 3 more seasons if Davante Adams is a wide receiver 1 while everybody's like, well, next year he's going to be 31. And I'll be like, and I'll still be the wide receiver 7.
Yeah, I mean, all right, so here's the deal with Davante Adams. I'm working with somebody in a league. I don't want to discuss too much, but we're trying to move. We're trying to figure out, they're trying to rebuild, and they're trying to move Davante Adams. So we're trying to figure out different trades, and every single trade we've sent out has gotten turned down, and it's absolutely shocking to me.
All right, I got to put that on pause for a second. All right, can't say anything bad about the Cup pick. It's basically the Adams pick, but a white guy.
That's right.
Talk to me about the Derrick Henry pick.
I don't know. I was going back and forth. I know the running back room's very small. I was afraid I may not get somebody elite by the time it came back around to me. So there we go.
I like it. I think that she's building a team that is set up to dominate in year 1. And when you do this, you're able to pretty much buy your league or buy back into your league for the next, 5, 6, 7 years, depending on what first place is.
How sure are we that Henry's going to be good next year?
No,
I think the market
kidding me
is
right now.
The market's very sure. I think the market is too sure, but
no, you don't just stop being good.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
It happens all the time.
That's most running backs.
Yeah.
Stop.
He's 29 years old.
8.
28. Oh, sorry, he'll be 29.
Which in running back terms is like 93.
Yeah, literally, I've done the
you know what? Don't be jelly.
Inflation rate thing.
They're just jealous. They know that you're going to take year 1 championship.
No, look, that's fine. My only problem with building a team like that is your margins are really thin, right? So if this team busts out in year 1, then she's fucked. Like if Derrick Henry, I'm just saying, if Derrick Henry goes out there and he runs like an old man, which, look, Derrick Henry is a superhuman. Yeah, so we could be wrong. He could be the one.
I've been wrong with Henry his entire career.
Yeah, literally like
now.
Every time. But yeah, I mean, that's a tough threesome to start with: Josh Allen, Cooper Kupp, and Derrick Henry. It's just I don't feel like chasing running backs. I just don't.
But in 2023, what will happen is Henry will have a great year in 22, and then some schmuck on our league will overpay for Henry, and I'll be sitting pretty.
I don't know, man.
My money's on Carlos, Jay Carlos, because he'll get really close to the championship. He'll get beat up by Kelly, and then Carlos will send over a trade to Kelly and acquire Derrick Henry, who will have a 30-point game in the championship, and she'll be walking away free. She'll be walking away scot-free.
Could be.
I'm done.
Could be. I mean, that is always a chance, right? I do think there's an argument. Oh, Debo's gone. That's unfortunate.
I was hoping he was going to make it to me.
I do think there's an argument for renting points. Like if it can hit, you can rent the points and then you can sell at a similar rate. I think I'm just very, very pessimistic on Henry for this upcoming year.
So I'm kind of in a tough spot here. I'm not going to go Alvin Kamara because I need some wiggle room. I need a couple years possibly to be able to really compete. I can't go Dalvin Cook for the same reason. Saquon Barkley is in the same boat, although I really like him for this year. And if I was building a team to win right now, between those three, I would take Saquon Barkley.
Why? I thought you said if you were building a team to win.
Yeah.
I have a strong
Why are you not
belief,
following your own premise?
I have a strong belief that Saquon Barkley is going to have a massive year if he's able to stay with the Giants. And I think that you guys should go check it out over there on youtube.com/trophysmack because I did a whole 6-minute long segment on it.
It's a good one. This is the only time I'll say this entire show, but like I fully agree with Chase. Saquon still is in my top 6 dynasty running backs, clearly.
So I think
is it nostalgic?
It is.
Wait, so you just took an older running back?
I'm not even talking about age. I'm talking about like the mystique around Saquon. Oh, Saquon, he's amazing. He can't do it.
Remember when he was
talk
good?
About broken players.
Yeah, but if you're talking like to me, it's like if you're taking a 3 years older injured dude, but you wouldn't take a 3 years younger injured dude who actually
no. There's a difference. Saquon is perpetually injured. Derrick Henry broke a foot,
but that's not a thing. Like injury prone isn't a thing.
No, I know it's not.
I
know. It's completely my imagination. Saquon missing most of the last fucking.
No, he got injured, but it doesn't make him any more or less likely to get injured again. It's just random.
And it doesn't affect your ability going forward either. Being injured, lower body injuries all the time.
You guys are making me way too sassy. I'm telling you.
Let's go. Bring it on,
the medical folks. Not like Jesse the Joker, but like Edwin Porras and Jeff Muller are the two people banging the drum loudest for Saquon Barkley right now out of anyone, and they're the medical folks.
Okay, who was banging the drum? A bunch of people were banging the drum for him last year too. How'd that go? He got outplayed by fucking Devontae Booker.
He got hurt.
He got outplayed, and when he didn't, he was outplayed by Devontae Booker in a straight up exact situation. Devontae Booker looked better than him. Matter of fact, when he was on the field a couple times and I didn't realize it was Devontae Booker, I was like, damn, Saquon's back. And then I was like, oh, never mind. No, that's Booker.
Hey,
I mean, all these running back or all these arguments to me are just arguments not to draft a running back. Like I just don't think that Saquon Barkley is materially more likely to get hurt than any other running back. I think all running backs are likely to get hurt.
Yeah, they're just all basically grenades.
You know what? We're all going to die at some point.
Whoa,
Brian Dable. Oh, wow. Brian Dable's system, believe it or not, it's actually very beneficial to running backs. That's why Devin Singletary and Zach Moss actually did halfway decent.
Okay,
although they're very
Zach Moss,
running backs.
No. Devin Singletary is actually good. Zach Moss is terrible, and Zach Moss did terrible in his system, which is why he was benched repeatedly.
I was saying combined between the two, their combined totals were okay. And I mean, he still produced guys like Peyton Hillis. I mean, Jamal Charles had one of his best years. I think it was the second year.
Definitely Jamal Charles. Thank you, John. He made Jamal Charles.
Yeah, and then you also have you have a bunch of running backs.
What if we talk about the guys that we did pick? What do you think about Jalen Waddle, Chase?
So I was between Jalen Waddle and Antonio Gibson. So I was like very, very close to taking Antonio Gibson. And the last second, I went back over to Jalen Waddle. I don't know how long of shelf life Antonio Gibson's going to have, especially with his, minor injuries that he's doing. I know that injury prone isn't a thing, but toughness is. And I don't know if Antonio Gibson actually has the toughest to be handling the amount of carries that they want to give him, especially running between the tackles. So I went with Jalen Waddle here. I like the system that's coming in. I think that it benefits the slot receiver. I think he's going to see a ton of volume, and I think they're going to work him down the field a little bit more. So I like Jalen Waddle, especially for dynasty purposes, and his value's outrageous right now. So if I need to trade him and try and acquire somebody else, I can do that if I feel like I need to pivot.
Yeah, I mean, I like that you got a better receiver in round 3 than round 2.
You're waiting for that. That was building up in your mind this entire time.
But can I tell you who got a great pick? Campy. Campy didn't, panic on quarterback, waited, and got Justin Fields in the 3rd round.
I really like his team right now. Campy's team is pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I love Justin Fields in the 3rd. I was kind of hoping he would kind of fall back to me on the 4th, hoping against hope. But no, I love Justin Fields there, man. Great pick by Campy.
So real quick, if you guys are watching on YouTube, go over to youtube.com/fantasy intervention. If you're not, make sure you guys hit subscribe, like the episode. Let's see if we can actually break our record for the most views on a live show. Go over to youtube.com/fantasy intervention and go check us out. Hit subscribe and hit like. Appreciate it, y'all. All right.
If you hit a record, would you be like, we're having Kelly all the time?
That's true. I came and picked DJ Moore because I haven't actually clicked on any tab other than WR so far. That's kind of so.
I need everybody to draft quarterback for the next 6 picks so that Jacob gets completely drowned out.
Well, now that they're off the board, now I can talk about. I was really close between DJ Moore and Deontay Johnson, and I was hoping maybe I'd even get both. But now Deontay's gone, which is nice. Maybe I'll actually tab over to the other positions. But yeah, I like. I mean, Moore's been producing elite peripherals for the last 3 years, and his quarterbacks continually suck. I hope that one day they don't suck anymore. And I hope that he's not like 30 by the time that happens. That's my hope. We'll see if it happens. I don't know.
I just realized that Bob took 2 tight ends in the first 3 picks.
Why?
I'm not sure, but there's no tight end premium.
I'm a fan of that. Not in the first 3 picks, but I'm kind of sad that the tight ends are already flying off the shelves because tight ends they produce a lot of points. I think people overlook them in the flex position for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I look, I love getting Kyle Pitts and Mark Andrews, except that it's not a tight end premium, and he did it in the first 3 rounds. So I hate his team. I hate your team, Bob.
I think it needs like 3 more slots down, and it'd be solid.
Oh no, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
There's certainly no wide receiver I want to draft right now.
All my players.
I mean, I can't imagine taking a running back. I just desperately don't want to draft Trevor Lawrence. So I guess Stafford it is.
What makes you afraid of Trevor Lawrence? I mean, they have a new offense, coming in. I think that Trevor Lawrence is in a decent spot.
Yeah, here's my issue with Lawrence. So I think I actually put up this whole thread today that I titled "Thinking About Thinking." And I talked about how people attach themselves to priors in a really interesting way. And so I think what happens a lot of time, think about it as an investment, right? So think that you buy a stock at $20, okay? That stock goes down to $10. I think what people ask themselves is, okay, can this stock get back up to 20? But really what you should be asking yourself is this stock going to go past 10? Because it doesn't really matter what you bought it for. But I think that people sort of attach themselves to these priors in terms of how they assess the range. And what I keep seeing about Lawrence, people say, okay, yeah, it was a bad season, but he still has this really high ceiling. And I mean, maybe he does, but I just don't understand why having such a bad first year negates your floor more than it negates your ceiling. Like, I think that actually his entire range of outcomes shifted, and it shifted, well, I guess like this, and it shifted for the worse. And with Lawrence specifically, he doesn't really run. He had an 11% college rushing share. That's like in the range of the Baker, Stafford, kind of the tactical scrambler range, not like the full Konami range. And so to me, it's like, why am I absorbing all this risk that he might actually be horrible? Because he was horrible as a first year starter for what's probably going to be a low end QB1. Like, to me, I'm much more willing to absorb risk on Lance or frankly even Fields because they run a lot more. Because I think that there's a higher payoff if you're right. So I've been like buying low on Lawrence, and then I really thought about it, and I got really high, and I started thinking about probabilities, and I decided that I'm no longer in on Trevor Lawrence.
So I mean, like you said, like the people ask themselves, like, can it actually get past 10 on the stock, or can it get back up to 20? I mean, I'm asking if it can go above 20, and with how bad his situation was, with the head coaching opportunities, with the wide receivers, with literally his entire offense being hurt. I mean, he's getting the majority of his wide receivers back. We could see, aside from, of course, DJ Chark, we could see them spend the second-round pick, as early as the second-round pick, on a wide receiver as well that could be a stud. I think they're going to try and sign a veteran because they have plenty of cap space. I think that his stock could easily get above, $20 or however you put it. So I'm thinking that Trevor Lawrence, the risk reward is very high on both ends.
To me, it's like, what percentage of the chance does he outscore Matthew Stafford and Russell Wilson in the next 3 years?
We could say any number here, and none of us will have any idea. If I had to guess, Stafford and Wilson combined, 0.
No, like
0%.
Either one. I just think it's like, to me, it's like if I'm picking who's going to score more over the next 3 years, to me, I'm clearly picking Stafford.
Oh, I'm not. Fuck no.
No, I don't think I am either. I think that Stafford probably has him next year, but after that, I think it's a pretty good shot that you get a
quarterback. Quarterback scoring is like stable until you're 40 for the good ones.
Okay, so let's just hypothetically say that Stafford does score more, right, than Trevor Lawrence, but he outscores him by, let's say, 4 points per game, right? So that's the difference between quarterback 5, quarterback 12.
Yeah.
At what, 23 years of age, I think, is what Lawrence will be next year, right? 23 or 24?
Sure. Yeah.
Let's at that age, all of a sudden the stock for Trevor Lawrence goes through the roof because now they see that ceiling again. Now they see that opportunity. Value.
That's not production.
No, but you can move that for production if that's the case, right? Because it's pristine value.
Just pause this real quick. You're going to need to move the clock up because I'd like to get out of here before midnight.
That's a true point.
And have we been talking about Trevor Lawrence literally for like 10 minutes now?
Yeah.
All right. We can move it to 60-second clock. I hope everybody sees this.
Let's do 60.
40 seconds.
I don't know if I can.
Everyone who's watching, I'm not this happy.
I'm on the clock.
I don't think I can move it, to be honest.
Oh, Xander. J.K. Dobbins.
Let's go.
I'm in it. Good, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying I like that pick. I think that he comes back to, comes back and is productive. Yeah, I think that's great. I think he got a tremendous value, and I was between J.K. Dobbins and Breece Hall. I'm a little bit shocked that nobody has gone with Kamara going into the 5th round. Not saying that I would, but obviously because I took Breece Hall, but I'm a little bit shocked that nobody's even taken the shot on him. Even Nick Chubb to an extent. I mean, the ADP for Kamara is through the roof compared to where he's going right now.
I took Kamara in the 5th the other day, and then he got arrested 3 hours later. And then that told me that I should just simply never draft another 26-year-old running back again.
Oh, I'm going to hate myself, and I already fucking hate myself for doing this.
Oh, that's a great pick.
Dang it, that was going to be my pick.
Top of my board.
Oh, sniped.
Nice.
I don't know if that's a snipe. A snipe is something that happens where you're planning on getting somebody around early and somebody decides to take them ahead of you.
I don't know if it was just if somebody takes it in front of you, like the person in front of you. But
no, I say sniped all the time.
So I'm gonna go somewhere else because again, tight end, not a very big field there. And
Walrus.
I'm gonna be completely off the wall, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this right now.
Let's go.
Stack it up.
Oh,
okay. Ooh, that's spicy.
I don't know that I love it, but I'm gonna roll with it.
Roll with it, baby.
Whoa.
Right.
Well,
wait, Matt Corral is going ADP wise is going ahead of Mac Jones right now?
I would think so because Mac Jones' ceiling is a QB 18.
What's Corral's ceiling?
Higher because he runs.
Yeah, don't you know this, man?
I'm shocked that Malik Willis is as low as he is while we see Matt Corral.
I was gonna say.
Shut up, Chase.
Shut your stupid face.
We're like besties, Chase. I think we have like the same.
Oh God, shut up!
I need you to just shut up about Malik. All right.
I was trying to trick.
Guys, the whole point of this is to educate. So
yeah, I wanted to educate after I picked him.
Yeah. I might just take him just to snipe you.
Oh, well, you can. That's your right.
Was contemplating Dobbins or more with my last pick. Had to
talk to me about Traylon Burks, Shane. I love Traylon Burks.
Yeah, I want the number 1 wide receiver in the class, right? And I've looked at this 23 class or 22 class a lot, so much so that I'm already wishing about the 23 class. There's literally like 2-3 players I want from this class that like I actually desire, and it's Traylon Burks, it's Breece Hall, and Malik Willis. Shh.
Just shush yourself.
Yeah. And I didn't feel like draft. I feel like I can get I feel like I can get a quarterback a little later here,
like
holding
really
out. So I'm gonna take the wide receiver 1 in this class and hope that that means he's going to be a wide receiver 1, and then if he is, my wide receiver room's looking pretty good.
And Kelly, talk to me about Carr. You said that was a spicy pick. I do think it was definitely a spicy pick based on the ADP. What do you love about Mr. Derek?
I really feel like he has it in him to win. I think that Vegas was dealt a bad hand, pardon my pun. But he's there to compete. He wants to win, and I think his team likes him, and that is important. So I see them contending next year. Again, they were contending well this year, but just didn't have what it took to finish.
All right, so this last pick that I put up there was for Taylor specifically.
Finally, Kamara goes. Bob's getting all the old dusty running backs. There we go.
I actually like.
Yes, I will be slandering Mac Jones, Jake, all day fucking long. You count on it.
You know what I'm getting tired of? I'm tired of people saying that. Oh, well, his ceiling's Kirk Cousins. Like Kirk Cousins is bad. Kirk Cousins is a quarterback 1 every fucking year.
Why didn't you draft Kirk Cousins then, Shane? Why didn't you freaking draft Kirk Cousins?
He's also on my list because I know nobody respects Kirk Cousins because they say things like Mac Jones' ceiling is Kirk Cousins. And I'm like, okay, because they'll go, oh, well, Mac Jones could be like Kirk Cousins.
He doesn't run
Baker Mayfield plus, and I'm like, those are not the same thing. Those are not the same thing.
All right, so McLaurin, real quick. He could be walking into a new situation with a better quarterback. He's still produced every single year with literally no quarterbacks. I mean, Taylor Heineke's absolutely terrible. He's the only wide receiver on this team. So, I mean, how do you guys feel about Terry McLaurin? How do you guys feel about his situation moving forward? We'll start with Kelly.
I'm torn because I had him on my home league, and I came in 3rd in my home league, but it was hot and cold. It was like, yes, I'm so glad I picked him. And then it's like, no, what happened? So I feel like this next year is going to be more know what happens than yes, that was awesome.
Jacob, I know you want to talk on this. Go ahead.
Oh, I don't mind Terry. I felt like I had a vendetta against Terry when his price was a lot higher.
Yeah, when he was.
But I don't have any
a top 5 option or something.
Yeah, like I don't have any opinions about any players. I don't care about them. I don't like them. I don't dislike them. They don't matter to me. They're just names on a spreadsheet, and I care about how many points they score and what they cost. And Terry's cost is now lower, so I'm fine with him now. My issue with Terry has always been that I feel like he gets compared to DJ Moore because they're both there's wide receivers that are clearly better than their surroundings, and they're clearly dependent on a quarterback upgrade to maybe succeed more.
I love this comment. Oh, go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, finish the thought.
No, the issue is, of course, Terry's just much older. So now he's at a point where he's going to be 27 when he finishes next season. And I understand it's kind of where we're getting back to what we were talking about with Lawrence about the value. But like to me, in a wide receiver, your life cycle is like up to 26. You get to just rent points because you can always sell for the same value that you're getting. You're just renting the points. And then when you hit 26 to 28, that's the spot where you have to make this decision of like, do I want to hold this guy for the prime production, knowing that they're going to go down in value a little bit? Is it worth it to me? And the issue with Terry now is if he gets that, you don't get a point rental year. You get all the points this year, and then you either have to sell or you take the escalator ride right back down. Whereas I'm more attracted to the guys a little bit younger, where if you get the big jump up, then you can ride it for a year or two and then sell it, and you don't have to actually lose anything.
So let me bring this point up as well, because I mean, we could see like a Stephon Diggs type, year where he could end up having a brand new situation with a brand new quarterback who actually hits and he produces at a very high level. And although he's 27, people are like, oh, wait, but his situation is so much better now. And he actually doesn't see an appreciation in value. So, I feel like Terry McLaurin, you could still see a year, maybe a 2-year rental, as you brought up, as renting points. But I think that Terry McLaurin still will have that value if he has to have a killer year. But if he has that killer year, I think that he can still see the same value next year.
I mean, the nice thing now is I just don't think it's priced in. Like, I think now he's in a nice range where he's going in like as a mid wide receiver 2, where if he gives you a wide receiver 1 season this year, like, it doesn't really matter if he jumps up in value. You've profited. You get a wide receiver 1 season. Like, congratulations, right? And you have that room to grow. I think the issue was when he was being valued top 10 and he wasn't producing top 10 and he wasn't all that young. It's like, okay, well, now we're just kind of we're a bit of a fugazi here, but I like him at his current price.
So I'm going to go to Shane with this question, right? Because he's our landing spot. What was it? Landing spot?
Landing spot correspondent.
Correspondent. Yes, thank you. Our landing spot correspondent. You know, John's like, hey, I'm taking Malik Willis so I can get that stack with CMC. And I feel like that's actually not a terrible take. I think that he could end up with the Panthers to an extent. I mean, they could be looking for an explosive player. Shane, what's your take, man?
I mean, I was hoping Malik was going to fall to me because he's the number one quarterback in this class. He's got the most upside. That could look like, Lamar Jackson in 2 years, or it could look like EJ Manuel. And quite frankly, I have no idea which. But I'm good with the gamble there, to be quite honest with you. I mean, I honestly could care less about the stack with CMC because he's a running back and he's going to be out of the league in 2 years, and Malik Willis will be doing his best work after that. But I do like the Malik Willis pick there, and I guess Carolina wouldn't be a bad spot for him. You got DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey, the ghost of Robbie Anderson, and Tommy Tremble. So yeah, let's roll.
Yeah, well, I made a big mistake, and I forgot that the people drafting with us are all watching. So I was like, I'll just take Devontae Smith, who I won, and then I'll just be able to easily take Malik Willis on the way back because I picked before the rest of these guys. And then I forgot that everyone was watching, and so then they took Malik Willis, and now I don't know who to take now because I'm sad.
And for those people who are watching, make sure you guys are watching on YouTube. And if you are watching on YouTube, hit subscribe.
Hit subscribe, yes.
Yeah, just hit subscribe. It's cool. It takes 2 seconds.
And then log into your kids' account and make them subscribe too.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect.
Okay, well, I'll just keep drafting wide receivers because the great thing is I just want to trigger Chase by actually finishing this with 0 running backs, because if this was a real draft, I'd start drafting running backs in like round 12. So I'll take my favorite wide receiver in the class. I'll take Drake London.
Okay. What do you like about Drake London? Because I do like him, but I just see a lot of sense that I don't like, and it kind of scares me that he could be a little bit spotty.
Well, so what I think in my spreadsheets, of course, London's sell box looks the second best. But what I like about London compared to Burks is that the route running bros on Twitter really don't like London, which makes me like him more. So he was my wide receiver too until people got really angry, and then now I'm thinking about moving him to 1. But no, what I like about London is just the production profile. Like, he played on a team with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Michael Pittman from 18 years old, while also playing on their Division I basketball team. And during that time, he was still producing and broke out as an 18-year-old freshman. And then he comes in this year. I mean, he was the most dominant wide receiver in college football this year until he got hurt. And he was up. He had over 40% targets per route this year. It was absolutely insane. And so Drake London just was like a boss this year. He got hurt. Seems like teams aren't concerned about the medicals. I'm seeing him get mocked as high as 7th overall in the latest Daniel Jeremiah mock. So I think it's likely he's the first wide receiver off the board. He has a sterling production profile. He's going to be 21 years old for the first game of the NFL season. Like, to me, he's awesome. And he's also like 6'5" and 220, and he looks like he's built out of stone.
All right, so I went a little bit risque over here, and I took another rookie running back because I feel like rookie running backs, they always increase in value. Well, not all of them, but the majority of them, increase in value. RIP Trey Sermon, of course. But, Kenneth Walker, somebody who, pour one out, man. Walker's somebody that could end up seeing a major increase in value. I know that he's a little bit spotty. People say that he's undersized and whatnot, but
I'd rather have Kyron Williams by a landslide. But go ahead.
Honestly, like, we're just playing. We're gambling at this point, trying to figure out exactly where they go. I just wanted to take a shot on another rookie running back, and see if I could see an increase of value while still getting production and renting points, as Jacob put it. Kelly, where are you sitting at in your thoughts of where you want to go for this one?
I just whispered the F word because
I saw you talking. To yourself. I want to know what you said.
I said fuck. Isaiah Spiller was going to be my rookie running back pick. So it's Willis, Spiller, And I already forgot our QB that we were talking about that I loved also. But those were the only 3 that I think are worth anything in my book, at least. So now I'm like, poop.
Zach
is
Sander
probably a better word than fuck.
You can say whatever you want.
Zach is going so robust. He currently has 4 running backs, 0 wide receivers through 6 rounds.
Oh.
I think he's just trying to do a counterbalance to me. Like, we have one side is taking all the running backs and one is taking all the wide receivers.
I think he's taking values at where they come. And to be honest with you, I feel like, he's taking Isaiah Spiller just in case one of these guys falls off the map. Maybe J.K. Dobbins doesn't come back healthy. Maybe Nick Chubb, doesn't get the volume that we want to see from Nick Chubb. And I feel like Isaiah Spiller could balance that. And then once one running back's, done, he could actually still hit it. I guarantee you he will go on like 7 straight picks of wide receivers pretty much.
I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see. Maybe you think I'm actually going to draft a running back tonight. You'd be mistaken.
It's only 10 picks, man.
Yeah, and look, if you made this a 20-round draft, then I would draft some running backs. But you made it the 10-round.
We would be here till 3:00 in the morning if I made this a 20-round draft.
I'm in a startup right now with my buddies, and the last time I did one with this crew, shout out to Big Billy FF, my co-host on the Full Tilt Dynasty podcast. He did a league last year, and I decided to do a bit where I did this hero running back thing, and I allowed myself to take one running back the first 2 rounds, but I said I'm not allowed to take another running back.
No, don't let me
go, Kelly,
out.
go, Kelly, go, Kelly, go.
No, I mean, fun.
I don't even know how to pause it.
It's hard.
Okay, time's up.
I'm going to pick an old guy.
There you go. You're picked.
Did you want Elijah Moore for your first one?
I did. That was going to be my next.
Or Elijah Mitchell. Sorry, not Elijah Moore.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
I did not really want DeAndre Hopkins, but
no one does.
I want Hopkins. I love old wide receivers. They're always welcome.
I'm gonna take him because I do. But I was thinking, isn't there somebody? We're all on this younger train. Apparently, I'm like the oldest person in this room, and everybody's like, "Oh, younger." But
is Shane?
I'm fairly sure I'm older than you.
I don't think you are. I'm 43, everybody. I'm 43.
Oh my God! No, you're not.
Shane, that's fine. Shane's 143.
197.
Shane's old as fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with that.
All right. So Kirk Cousins went off the board. That's
great pick.
Pretty
Shane.
on brand. As you talked
boring
about it.
pick, Shane.
Yeah, that's as boring as it gets, Shane.
At some point,
value.
You just take the boring quarterback one.
Yeah, at this point, I think I might have to draft a quarterback, and I'm likely to pair mine.
I recommend Carson Wentz.
You recommend I'll take Carson Wentz with a later pick.
There's not enough rounds. We're only doing 10.
You're right.
I think my favorite stack would be Kirk Cousins and Adam Thielen. Honestly, we're gonna say that.
I want to do a study on undrafted players with poor athleticism and their drop-off point, because I like Adam Thielen. I do. I've always drafted Adam Thielen year after year after year because I thought that he would always produce and give you solid numbers. I like the volume. But I want to do a study on the drop-off point. Like, when do players actually fall off if they do have poor athleticism and they do have poor numbers? Because I have no idea, and it's something I've been thinking about recently.
Well, this is maybe not super related to that, but it's somewhat related. I bring this up all the time because it's the best article I've ever read. But the Adam Harstad article on "We're Probably Thinking About Age Wrong" is the best read in all of Dynasty football, in my opinion, where he uses this metaphor for wide receiver aging. And he says, basically, instead of people think of it as an age curve, right? You get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, and then you're at your peak, and then you get a little worse. And, we're kind of actually seeing the two versions of this with Devontae Adams and Cooper Kupp, who you guys were taking early and were just phenomenal, versus maybe DeAndre Hopkins and probably Allen Robinson.
No, Bob! Damn it. He listened. He knew what I was going to do. Bob, I hate you so much right now. I know that was not going to be your pick. Except for I said something. I am so sorry for interrupting, Jacob. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. This is way more fun to watch you tilt. Point is, wide receivers are usually about the same, and then they die. But it's really hard to predict when they'll die.
You think Cooper Kupp's going to die soon? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. The point is, like, I don't know. He used this metaphor that was great, which is basically he said, you reach into a bag of 100 marbles, and each year over the age of 27, like, there's slightly more black marbles. And if you draw a black marble, then you die. But if you draw a white marble, then you just like continue. I'll say red marble. Anyway, if you draw a red marble, then you're just the exact same. And like, it's just purely variance. And I would say, like, I would expect Cooper Kupp to be totally the same. I mean, probably not the same as he was this year because he had the best wide receiver season of literally all time. But like, I expect that he will be totally awesome. And then 1 year, maybe it's next year, maybe it's the year after, maybe it's 2, 3, 4 years. I don't know. He'll go from being absolutely elite to complete and total dust. I don't know when it'll be.
But isn't that true for every single player ever? Like every person and every player? Like eventually he's going to stop.
Great question, and I know where Jacob's going with this.
But I think the difference is, like, a lot of people think it's gradual. Like, people think it's like you get a little bit worse, and then you're dust. But actually, it's like you're elite dust.
Julio
Jones.
Much
more sudden.
Yeah. Like that's the thing. So people always say things like, "Oh, well, I'll take 80% of Julio Jones when he's 35," and you're like, "No, that's not what you're getting. That's not how life works, you fucking dipshit. It's not like he's going to score." I get very angry at people for no apparent reason, but I'm like, it's not like he's going to give you 13 points. He's literally going to give you nothing because he's going to be fucking useless. You fucking
Shane, I don't know what you thought you do on here, but your job is to educate people who don't do the research that you do.
Right. So I think that Shane and I are saying the same thing, but what I tried to do is I tried to use metaphor. I tried to compliment another writer. I tried to explain it nicely, and then Shane just like yelled at people.
Well, so
berated them and called them dipshits and swore them.
So you have to use positive and negative reinforcement. Right? you can't use.
I heard no positive. I heard no.
No, Jacob. We were like a parenting team there, right? A co-parenting team. Okay. This is what I've learned that you call yourself.
You swear at your kids and call them fucking dipshits?
No.
No, that was the participation ribbon, wasn't it, Shane?
Yeah. I don't swear at my children.
Speaking of, if you guys need some participation ribbons and to make sure that your league mates know that they did not come in first place, make sure you guys go to trophysmack.com. Nice. Once again, that's trophysmack.com. Use promo code CIRCLE on your checkout. If you guys buy a trophy or a belt, you'll actually get a free championship ring with that, valued at $60. The rings are nice. They're super thick. The belts are sick too. Check this out. This thing is the championship belt from Trophy Smack. Like, this thing is heavy. Like, it's not light. Like, I actually had to work out in order just to be able to pick this up and bring it home with me. So make sure you guys go to trophysmack.com. Once again, that's trophysmack.com. Use promo code CIRCLE at checkout. You'll get a free ring with the purchase of a trophy or a belt. Promo code CIRCLE. And that's also in the description of the show.
Speaking of Trophy Smack, I think Chase and
I'm sorry?
Sorry.
I sang a song on Twitter for Trophy Smack.
You did! You sang a song and it was amazing. And I loved it. She did. She sang a song. Awesome. I'll try and find it and make sure that I repost it up on Trophy Smack's page tonight or tomorrow. It was amazing. It was really good. I'm not going to lie.
Speaking of Trophy Smack, Chase, I think we just set up our next entry into the Smack Zone if me and you ever do this with Dallas Goedert and Pat Freiermuth, because we both took tight ends in the same round, and I took the right one and you took the wrong one. And
I was wondering. So I was wondering when somebody's going to take Dallas Goedert. And like I said, with my team needs a little bit of time, right? Like to be able to figure out if it's going to be any good or not. I don't think that I'm going to be winning this year, but I'll still be in contention. It'll still be a winning team. I'll have a winning record at the end of the season. But I didn't want to take Dallas Goedert because I think Dallas Goedert will give us 2 to 3 really, really good years. Somewhat, probably top 5-ish years. But Pat Freiermuth going into a second year, he's my favorite rookie tight end. Obviously, Kyle Pitts doesn't count because he's a wide receiver. So Pat Freiermuth is my favorite rookie tight end from this past season. I think he's going to produce. I think once they find help at quarterback, it's going to, obviously help the situation. But the biggest thing is, like, it's going to take time for them to find help. I don't see that they're going to do it this season. So Freiermuth for me is somebody that I'm drafting for 2023, not 2022.
I like it.
I need to hear Shane on this. What's up, Shane?
Just you're worried about Dallas Goedert's age curve? Like you're worried about Dallas Goedert as a tight end. Like he's got at least 4 to 5 more years. Like what are we
he
forecasting?
Could die tomorrow.
Are we? Well, yeah, this is true.
He's
We could all die tomorrow. Are you like you're forecasting?
We don't
the
age curve. I mean, he could just drop off. I mean, we don't know.
Well, I mean,
so I don't think that Dallas Goedert. I think Dallas Goedert has splash performances in him. I don't think that he's going to end up being an elite level tight end. Like I don't think he's gonna be top 3 tight end every single year from here.
And you think Pat Freiermuth is?
I think Pat
Freiermuth is going to score a touchdown on 8% of his targets like he did this year?
I think it's very possible with the Pittsburgh offense.
I do. I think that whoever comes in to
maybe not 8%, but go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say whoever comes into Pittsburgh is going to see that Ben, the Big Ben, he favored Freiermuth a lot, and I feel like that takes a lot of trust for a veteran quarterback to spend that many snaps on a rookie, and whoever comes in next is going to be like, if Ben likes him, I like him.
In addition, Ben Roethlisberger's never used a tight end.
That's completely not true.
I mean,
I think
completely
incorrect.
Who's been a top 5 tight end with Ben Roethlisberger?
Who's been a top 5 tight end?
Pat Freiermuth
wasn't a top 5. He wasn't a top 5 tight end.
He's a rookie. He's a rookie.
But that's not the argument you just made. You can't make an argument when it's disproven and go, well, that's not the argument I was making.
It's tight ends who
you're not my ex-wife. You can't
tight ends. I'm your ex-wife, and I'm telling you right now that Ben doesn't use tight ends. He used one this year, and whoever comes in next is going to be.
He didn't really use one this year. Like Eric Ebron had a higher target share the previous year than Freiermuth did this year.
He might have had a higher share, but it wasn't as explosive.
It wasn't as lucky.
He wasn't injured.
It wasn't as
good.
You guys are still stuck on Pat Freiermuth, and I think we just found out who Jacob's dad is. I mean, we just talked about ex-wife. We just talked about the son. Now
who's my dad?
It's Shane. Shane is your dad.
Shane's my dad.
Shane is your dad.
I'm your mom.
It's going to be tough to tell my actual dad about this.
I would get a paternity test, and then I'd fake my.
Although I gotta give it to Shane. He did the long con on us when the rest of us were talking about my mom, and Shane's like, nope, I don't know her. When actually, he really knows her.
He knows her well.
It's like Malik Willis. We don't talk about it.
Thank you, Bob. Yes, Eric Ebron, 91 targets in 2020.
Yeah. He uses tight ends. Like that was just an absurdist comment. Beard.
It was a 1-year thing that he used tight ends, and Eric Ebron still was not that successful.
So except for the years when he used his tight ends.
All right, I'm pulling this up on my Twitter. I'm going to do some research because I've done it before, and he really does not utilize tight ends, and we've been hurting.
But he didn't use Freiermuth. Freiermuth just got lucky with touchdowns.
He didn't get lucky.
No, you don't get lucky.
You earn targets, Jacob. You earn red zone targets, Jacob.
No, you earn targets. You earn targets. And then sometimes those targets become touchdowns, and then sometimes they don't. And he didn't earn targets.
The ball. He catches the ball.
That's not how it works.
But that is how it works.
I think we forgot that we were doing a draft.
No. Our draft forgot it was doing a draft.
Someone tell me how football works.
We got 2 rounds. We got 2 rounds.
Oh, well, I'm not staying for the entirety of this draft, so we better say our goodnights.
What?
Dude, you're the one that made it. We still have 4 rounds left. This ain't happening, bro.
No, we have 2 rounds left, Shane.
2.5.
I just need to understand if football is not about passing and catching the ball, then I need somebody to explain it to me.
No, all we're saying is his touchdown rate was way too high for.
Basically,
his touchdown rate was just way too high. It's as simple as that. Kyle Pitts had 110 targets last year and 1 touchdown.
Mark Andrews way too high?
No, that's not a thing, Chase. We can plot out stats that are sticky, right? And targets are super sticky. But touchdowns aren't. They're variant. Expected touchdowns are, but they move year to year. They're not as sticky as targets. And over time, you can see that on average, your targets are quite related to the amount of yards and targets that you have. And then if you have way more touchdowns in 1 year than you have proportionate to your yards and targets, usually that evaporates, like Robert Tonyan last year or Eric Ebron 3 years ago, like these outlier seasons where like Dawson Knox this year, where you catch way more touchdowns than you normally would on your targets, it doesn't repeat ever again.
What about Mark Andrews?
Well, Mark Andrews got 1 million targets and 1 million yards.
Hey, what do you have? 159 targets this year?
Only from the backup quarterback. Only from the backup. Just saying.
Like Mark Andrews didn't run hot on touchdowns. Mark Andrews had like 2.5 times the amount of targets.
He did.
No,
he didn't. He didn't.
Compared to his target rate. Yeah, he had a ton of targets.
Compared to his target rate. I don't do math. I'm just telling you, he made a lot of touchdowns.
Right. Okay. But Mark Andrews, right? So Mark Andrews had 154 targets and 1,361 yards, and he had 9 touchdowns. Right. Whereas Freiermuth had, let me pull it up.
7.
He had 7 touchdowns, but he only had 79 targets and 497 yards.
It's Matt Canada's system.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I can't even. Can we talk about another player? A.J. Dillon. Wow, A.J. Dillon after Aaron Jones. I think that's a great pick. I'm not going to lie to you. I like A.J. Dillon right there, Campy. Campy, I like the team you're building, even though you drafted small hands Kenny Pickett and I'm overrated St. Brown.
No, Amon-Ra's good, dude.
For the rest of that, I do like your team, man.
Shane,
I love A.J. Dillon there.
Shane, okay, what? You're going to be with me on targets are earned, but we're fading Amon-Ra St. Brown all of a sudden?
No. You have to.
How is this?
Targets are earned, right? But then you do have to sometimes look at the situation and go, well, you only garnered
fraud.
You only garnered
like Shane's a fraud.
13% target share when Hawkinson and Swift both played.
Yeah, so that's to do with system and players.
He had a 20% target share when they didn't play. So it's not like he was even fucking elite. He scored well. They threw a lot. That's all. He had a 20% target share when they didn't play.
I have a problem with his targets are earned because that's exactly what I'm trying to say is that when a quarterback has trust in the player, he earns the target in the right place, which is scoring a touchdown, which I think is going to continue.
But he didn't get the targets. He just got the touchdowns.
Yeah. But that's I mean, he's a magnet in the red zone.
No, but so Kelly, like what you're saying is true. If you're good then you earn more targets. But he didn't earn more targets. He got a 12% target share.
He earned the right targets.
No,
I agree with you.
No, but he didn't earn the right targets. He just caught more of them in the
plays designed around his skill set.
Yeah, so I'm on the same boat as Kelly. And honestly,
How is that not true?
Look at
Dawson. He didn't get more plays designed around his skill set. His red zone target share wasn't that high. His target share wasn't that high. He just caught a disproportionate amount of them.
Jacob, you do realize that coaches actually scheme certain plays and reads to happen for certain players, right? Like when they do rub rounds,
we have moved on
them more often.
I swear to God, I will close out this fucking StreamYard right now.
I will stop this car.
David Montgomery.
Now we know why you guys didn't work out.
David Montgomery in the what round was that? That was a good pick. I like it.
Oh, gross.
What round was that? 1, 2, 3. Round 6. I like that.
Die. Oh, how do you feel about the new offensive coordinator over there, Jacob? Like, with his over there for the Bears. I'm sorry, the head coach. Moving on from. Yeah. So I mean, who do you think benefits the most from him coming in since scheme matters so much?
Well, it doesn't matter at all. Anyway,
Shane is so done with us right now. Shane's like, I need to get the fuck out of here.
Okay, no, I like Eberflus. And scheme does matter. Scheme obviously matters. The issue is when you put when you use these minute scheme arguments to justify what's just random variance. Then I get really tilted. However, I like Eberflus. A lot. He's a really good defensive coach. I just don't like hiring defensive coaches because you usually then have to get 3 things right. You have to get the coach right. You have to get the OC right. And then you have to get the next OC right if that OC is good because they get hired away. So we'll see. I don't know much about the OC that they brought in. We'll see how it goes. I like Flus. I think he'll run a good defense. I'm not really a big cover 2 guy myself, but he's run it pretty effectively in the past.
All right, Kelly, what you thinking? I heard that sigh.
It's this is one big dysfunctional family.
Ball is life. I too am disappointed I didn't take Michael Thomas, but I needed a second quarterback.
All right. I am just because we're coming down here at the end and I know people want to go to bed. I'm just going to start taking my guys.
Take your guys.
Do it. Going to be really upset. I'm taking Rondale Moore,
No.
And then I am taking CH.
Wait, what'd you say, Jacob?
I said I love Rondell Moore.
Okay.
This is a great spot for him, right after Bateman.
Yeah.
That was my thought, actually.
God.
I was actually thinking that, except I was thinking somebody chose Bateman. That means it's my cue to pick Rondell Moore, not that, you know, the order.
I like Rondell. I got to be honest. I'm not a CH person, but he plays a good offense. Maybe it comes together. You never know.
So do we have no benches in this league? Like we just start everyone, right?
Yeah.
It's not a real league, Shane. I don't know if you're aware. Actually, we're doing a mock draft.
I get that. Thank you. But I'm saying based on the settings, we start everyone.
Yes, we're starting everybody.
Oh man, I'm just gonna have.
Well, I'm not starting everybody because I'm drafting more wide receivers than you can fit into a lineup. So I don't know.
Well,
all right, my dog's winding up. Be right back. Sorry.
Okay.
My dog's literally crying over there, and I'm like, okay.
Well, yell at them. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Red light.
There you go.
Shane, pick, dude. You're whining about how long this is taking. Maybe make a pick. How about that? Have you ever considered it?
If you look at my time on the clock, it's very low.
Kelly, how about this? While we're waiting on the pick to slide over to Chase and Chase to do this dog. What's your favorite fantasy football memory?
With my dad, actually. My dad passed away in 2015. He was 59 and he had cancer. But my greatest fantasy football memories are playing with my dad. From the time it was on pencil and paper, like I was small, and we would get the paper and we would look at all the stats and fill it in, and so those are like some of my best memories. My dad's my best friend, and my daddy tattoo, dad with his signature. But yeah, best memory. Look at you bringing this family together, son.
Yeah. Our family does best, and we don't talk about the anatomy of a target.
It's a divisive topic for us. It's like politics in some families, you know.
Shut up, Balls Life. Why don't you shut up? How about that?
Nobody likes 20% target share. Marquise Brown.
Oh,
why don't you shut up, Balls Life?
Shut up, Balls Life.
Nobody does.
That is my number one dynasty buy right there. We're talking.
I was thinking Marquise there, but I know I need some running backs because I have to start every player that we're drafting. So that's why I went with the RB3 of the class, Kyron Williams.
Bob, just make your pick, bro. Bob. No, why? Not that pick. Dude, I love Marquise Brown. He's my favorite dynasty asset. He's the one. He's the wide receiver one.
Why don't you like Marquise Brown? What happened to targets for Orange Kelly?
This household is a huge Ravens household, believe me.
Right.
And I have Marquise Brown on like every one of my teams. I will not next year. I will not let him take advantage of me again, break my heart, stomp all over it. No. Go out there and catch soccer balls because you can't catch a football.
Kelly, here's where we're gonna. I see where we're diverging. Right? So you see Pat Freiermuth get very few targets, but catch them all in the end zone, and then you like that. But you see Marquise, who gets a lot of targets and drops them all, but you don't like that.
Come on, it was one game.
And what I see is a player who has a lot of room for variance to improve in catching more of their targets. Whereas the person who caught all of them this year and didn't get as many, that means the variance is going to have him catch less of them. So I want the guy who's getting more of the targets and less of the catching them.
How many years has he had to work on catching a football in the NFL? And they have him out there literally catching soccer balls. Like, come on. He's spent, he's done. He has the yips. He has the yips.
Drops don't matter. Hashtag drops don't matter.
Drops do not matter.
Drops do matter. Ask Jalen Rager. Shane, how do you feel about Jalen Rager?
You talk about earned catches. How does he earn those targets?
He earns them by getting open consistently.
He earns them by being the only.
Moncrief if drops matter.
They have Mark Andrews, who had 1,400 yards last year. He's the only guy.
If they're not throwing to Brown,
quarterback.
they're throwing at Andrews. I will not get in it with you over the Ravens because I will get loud and super sassy. And I don't think
this is why I don't like teams or players or anyone. This is why everyone's just a name.
Like anyone.
No, I love the Colts. Did I take Jonathan Taylor? No, I did not. He plays running back.
Kadarius Toney, dude, come on.
Absolutely.
This is why your father divorced me.
Do you know why I took Kadarius Toney? Do you want to know why I took Kadarius Toney, Chase?
Because
take a guess.
He's the Dynasty wide receiver. What do I have him at? 24. And you follow my rankings.
I certainly don't follow your rankings, but I like it because he earns targets. That's why I like him.
That was a burn.
I'm very torn on Toney, to be honest with you, because he could end up giving you a season where he has 150 catches. He could also give you a season where he gives you 10 because he's constantly hurt and he's not tough enough to stay on the field.
He also might just leave the league to pursue a rap career.
That's Joka, Joka. I was going to take him with the last pick, but I was like, dude, I need to make sure that I grab Damian Harris because the Josh McDaniels time period where he schemes certain guys for certain fits is over, and now they're just going to use Damian Harris all the time and get rid of Ramondre Stevenson. So I'm very excited for that.
I'm very upset that Campy stole my bit. I was going to take only Tony Pollard as my only running back, and then he just kind of ruined my entire plan for the night.
Sniped. That's why you're sitting there saying you're not going to take a running back the whole entire time.
And now I won't. The only running back that I legally acknowledge is now gone.
Hunter, what's up, man?
Oh, All right. Bell? Shoot.
Oh, you like David Bell, huh? Why do you like David Bell?
I love David Bell.
Why?
Okay, I know that
he doesn't earn targets.
I feel like this is the scene in Moneyball when the person's like to Jonah Hill, it's like, why do you like this guy? And Jonah Hill's like, he gets on base. He gets on base. And yes, it's because David Bell earns targets. That's why I like David Bell. Top two in the class in targets per route running against man coverage. Drake London, David Bell.
God, Jacob's so bland. He's like vanilla. Like now we know how to draft against him.
It's true. I'm very boring.
Shane, you've been on mute for a minute.
High target shares. That's my entire team.
I was honestly wondering why Shane was not talking for the past couple minutes or so. He's muted.
No, I wasn't.
Shane, what's your favorite fantasy football memory?
Were you talking to somebody on the phone?
No. It was a couple years ago. Well, more than that now. It's probably 4 or 5, maybe 6 years ago. The running back for the Saints.
97.
Tim, the dude they got off
Hightower.
Tim Hightower
won me $3,000 on the last play of the season. Or the second, I forget which, but he won me 2 titles on the final play of the game. It was like a dump off when the Saints were getting fucking they had no shot, and it was a dump off to him, and I won 2 different leagues and won $3,000, and it was by both of them were by less than a point total. So that's my favorite memory. I will always remember Tim Hightower.
Here, let's power through this. We want to auto pick Jordan because he just ran out of time.
Jordan, you with us still? You done?
Jordan's done.
Fourth pick.
We'll give him 30 seconds. Give him 30 seconds.
He just picked James Robinson. He's clearly done, dude.
Okay. Wait, is that the next player up? That can have been the next player up.
Probably. The sleeper rankings don't believe that injury prone is a thing. In fact, they don't believe that currently injured is a thing.
Wait, clearly. You don't believe that injury prone is a thing, sir? Did we not have this whole discussion over Saquon Barkley? You know what? You are grounded.
Jacob, you're getting owned, dude. I love it.
Well, I got one more pick. I was so excited to make Tony Pollard my last pick, and that was ruined. And now I've decided who I'm going to take because I think that Chase is going to hate this pick so much. And ultimately, what it really comes down to on these streams is I have a number of positions that I think I could defend with equal force, but I decided to default to the one that will annoy Chase the most. So that's what I've decided.
I'm very curious. I know who I'm going to take with my next pick. Oh my God! Wait, Tyler Lockett's still on the board. It's kind of surprising.
I do love Tyler Lockett very much.
There's actually some really surprising guys that are still on here. I think that you're going to go with Odell Beckham. That's my.
I'm not going to go with Odell. Again, similar to James Robinson, I think there's a slight difference between injury prone and currently in a hospital.
Christian Kirk.
I do like Christian Kirk, but I'm not going to take Christian Kirk.
All right. So while we're waiting on the picks, Kelly, can you let us know where to find you and what you're doing with everybody?
Yes. So I am writing for 3 different platforms right now. IBT Media, where I'm doing just one every 6 weeks, lifestyle content. I'm writing for Club Fantasy, Women of Fantasy Football Weekly. I just kicked off my first piece of content called They See Me Colon, where awkwardly enough, it was about age and Dynasty. And the last place I do content, and my first place I ever started doing content, was with thecomishbrand.com, where I did some silly lifestyle content, but I am kicking off a brand new podcast. They bought a URL just for me, and music just for me, and artwork just for me.
That's awesome.
So it's going to be basically a news format, but with a positive spin.
I love that.
Love it.
I love that. That's sick. And don't leave yet, y'all. Make sure you guys go hit subscribe, go hit like on YouTube, and we have to find out who Jacob's next pick is going to be. But before we do, Jacob, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me, of course, on Twitter at @FF_RTDB. I have not been writing for a while because I've been working.
Dude.
Okay, that's. Okay.
We do need more. I will say this: we do need more women on the show. We need more representation.
That's
period. Because
I will
between
be here anytime you want.
Myself, Chase, and Jacob, this is like the whitest thing that's ever existed. So we do need some more representation in here. True. We're basically a Gap catalog.
Okay, all right, khaki. You can find me on Twitter, @FF_RTDB. I'll be starting writing up again soon in a couple of weeks. I've been doing some research this week. It's our week off from clinic, so I've been grinding. And I have a few things on the horizon. I'm going to launch the start of a new project for next season called the RB Streaming Project, which is basically where we're going to look at how running back points get scored by people who finish between RB13, RB24, how their expected points get broken down between carries, targets, etc., and how you can find these types of guys on the waiver wires every single week and effectively turn RB2 into a streamable position.
Sorry.
And I will be citing the dose score quite a bit within that. Absolutely. And then also, I'm doing a study on, shockingly, wide receiver targets, and specifically looking at wide receivers with partial route shares in year 1 and year 2, and whether their per route target rates can be extrapolated effectively, and specifically what types of wide receivers are more extrapolable. Specifically looking at guys like Kadarius Toney, Rondale Moore, guys that did not play a lot of routes but earned a lot of targets when they were out there. Should we be expecting that to translate on higher route shares, or are they just doomed to failure forever? And then the other thing that I'm working on right now is with quarterbacks. I posted a big Twitter thread about college rushing share, how that translates, and college rushing share, especially these rushing quarterbacks, how secure their jobs actually are and their stability. And I'm going to be talking a lot about that on Player Profiler too. So a lot of buns in the oven here.
Buns in the oven.
Yeah, and I took Wan'Dale Robinson, by the way, my favorite sleeper from Kentucky. He might get drafted in like round 6. I don't know. But if he gets drafted in round 3 or round 2, I'm going to have him in every single league.
Yeah, I went with Brandon Cooks. I think that, we've heard a lot about, he's been with all great quarterbacks, but this past year he proved that he can still produce very high levels. It's not somebody that you want to start every single week, but he's a great flex option or wide receiver 3 option. Moving forward. So I like Brandon Cooks. I think that he'll still give me production for a year or 2. Yeah, his value is going to end up tanking. I'm not renting him at this point, but in the 10th round, I mean, when you can get a wide receiver 1 in probably 6 weeks of the season, I'll take that.
Yeah, and look, no one's drafting Brandon Cooks for his trade value ever, because he's just consistently every year undervalued. He just
Unless it's an NFL professional team. That's the only reason why you acquire him, is because you can still trade him to another team and get the same exact value that you traded for him a couple years later.
Renting his points for sure.
Every year
teams rent his points.
Every year you see the same tweet. Oh, did you know that Brandon Cooks is a top 15 wide receiver and I drafted him in the 38th round? And you're like, yeah, it's because it happens every year. Yes, that's what happens.
All right, Shane, let everybody know where to find you and make your pick.
You can find me at Shane is the worst. I'm going to take another quarterback here to cock block someone, and then I'm going to take Tyler Lockett on the way back. So there. At Shane is the worst on the Twitter spheres, at Dynasty Trades HQ podcast. Not at Dynasty Trades and 5 on the YouTubes. Mannequin chill infrequently, do some writing, and hey, check me out. I got to go on Pat Fitzmaurice's show last night. Myself and the HQ guys. Yeah, we got to do a 2-part, 2-hour episode. So the first one dropped today. I also got to go on Fantasy Pros yesterday with Joe Pisapia and Andrew Erickson. So check that out and tell them that I'm awesome.
No way, that's
you
sick.
are awesome, Shane.
You rock, Shane.
So
you rock my world, Dad.
He's gonna tell them, not himself. He knows.
Yeah, don't tell me. I don't care. My opinion of myself doesn't matter, regardless of what my therapist says. It's more important what other people think of me.
Well, for the
I agree with that, Shane, for sure. External validation hits. Like the 3 things you can always rely on for a nice hit: external validation, joining a new startup draft, and the crack pipe.
Crack pipe. Crack cocaine.
You have a very communicative family, don't you?
All right, so Kelly, who you can take it with the last pick, and then I'll go through my read, and we'll get out of here.
I'm going to take. I'm going to also go with quarterback because I think we would still be continuing on. I'm going to go with 24-year-old Daniel Jones because I think he has potential. That's
Love it.
And he's cute.
Absolutely love it. Listen, that was a blast. Thank you guys who came in and joined the draft with us. I was kind of deciding between 60 seconds, 2 minutes before it, but yeah, I ran a little bit over. We got some good talk though.
Joy, we had fun. We had seasons in the sun.
All that stuff. Make sure you guys check out youtube.com/fantasy intervention. Hit subscribe, hit like. Of course, fantasy football discussion, do the same. So you guys can join us every single week and just have fun with the guests, especially, the fun that we had with Mom over there. And it was absolutely a blast, Kelly. Thank you for coming in. If you guys want to check out all of our content, thank you very much. If you guys want to check out all of our content, head over there to fantasyintervention.com, fantasyintervention.com. You guys can find us on Twitter at ff_intervention and join our circle _ over there on Twitter once again. Man, fantasy football discussion, big shout out to you guys. You guys came in strong, especially helping fill the draft, of course, and even the new guys that came in. Appreciate you guys as well. Make sure y'all give a shout out in the chat and in the post that I put up, so that way we can do this again sometime. I would like to do the same sort of thing and bring everybody on the show with us, including those people that were watching on YouTube as well. Oh, man. Outside of that, make sure you guys go visit Trophy Smack. Use promo code CIRCLE when you're buying a trophy or a belt. You'll get a $60 ring for free. Use promo code CIRCLE. Make sure both are in your cart at the same time. And go check out Trophy Smack over there on Twitter at Trophy Smack and on Facebook as well. Thank you guys for tuning in. Jacob, you want to say something?
Sorry. I totally forgot to mention it, but tomorrow I'm hopping on former guest of this show, David Gattieri's podcast, and I'm exclusively basically talking about Tony Pollard for an entire hour. It's the best show sheet that anyone's ever built for me. He showed me the show sheet, and 45 minutes of it are questions about Tony Pollard. And I've never been more excited to do a podcast my entire life.
You crazy, dude. You crazy. Thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you guys for listening. Or thank you guys for letting us intervene with your fantasy football
life. Fantasy football life.